2 hours later.
Kill you. If first you don't succeed, bring in the toys. My name is Joel, and this is Doing Date Night. And today I am probably bastardizing in several hundred ways risotto. You want to be a little careful of is making a broth that's too salty. Vegetable stock, because that's what we have in the fridge. Rant incoming with risotto is that you're basically just adding a broth into the rice continuously and letting it like soak in and thicken up. So you don't want to wash your rice because you want starches, and you don't want a broth that's like crazy strong to begin with, because as you keep adding it, it keeps evaporating down. Eventually you're just going to be left with like gunpowder. If you have it too salty, it's going to blow your face off. So we're trying not to do that.
And that was soy sauce.
That was soy sauce, yeah. After I just said don't make it too salty. I'm going to do a little bit of rice vinegar in there too. I just like to add whatever the I want into the broth to make it tasty. I know I literally use mirin in every single recipe, but it's just a good sauce. It's something good that adds to things. Rant incoming. One thing about like cooking and in the world of cooking, and especially like online, there's so much shit people take for just like, you know, taking some creative liberties with recipes. Now like that's different than like doing something that would be like totally like making that recipe not the thing. But like people are just like, oh, I just like this sauce, so I'm gonna put that in there. And then people are like, you fuck, how the fuck you do that? Rage! Then it's like, man, put soy sauce in it. Like, leave them alone, chill. Like, unless you're actually saying that this is the right way to do it, or this is the traditional way to do it, then yeah, I get that. But like, the whole point is supposed to be like, play with food, right? Like, have fun, you know, changing things up, trying new things, making different recipes. Like, that's how you get better and better recipes, is people, you know, grow with them. Sometimes they add something and it tastes like dog shit. Great. You fuck up. Next time, don't. But that's what it's supposed to be with food. Just like, that's what's so much fun about food, is there's so many options and flavors and combinations that like maybe at first for a lot of people that's sketchy and that's why they have a hard time. But after you kind of get that level of sort of knowing what sort of things will and won't work, it's like it's so much fun to just play with it. So I don't know, I get mad when people just want to be mad at people for having fun and playing with food. Right? Rant over. What do we need? Something. Garlic and chili sauce. There's vinegar. Sure. Let's go with that. I have to use both of them at the same time for this. So we're gonna be heating this up. We're gonna keep it at a simmer the entire time that we're cooking, because we don't want to add cold broth into the hot rice, because then it's going to be cooling it constantly. We want to actually keep the temperature hot. Never really bother with washing mushrooms, just because it ends up making them mushy. But definitely, that is not like you should definitely wash your mushroom. That's all I'm saying. PSA, man. Wash your mushroom. No. No one likes a musty mushroom, Jenny. You heard it here first. No one likes a musty mushroom. If you're cooking, don't worry about it. Because you don't want a soggy mushroom in the kitchen. No soggy mushrooms in the kitchen, no musty mushrooms in the bedroom. There we go. Found it.
Doing date night. Like and subscribe.
See? Date night. No one wants a musty mushroom. We're just about ready to fucking rock and roll here. Parmesan cheese. Stinky cheese. Yes, in the kitchen. No one. Nope, not gonna make that joke. Nobody ever said this would be PG-13. Hear that, kids? Go watch Bluey. I've heard it's a kid's show. Wait until you're older, then you can understand this cooking show.
So is it really a cooking show?
I don't know. I mean, we do cook. That is a thing that does happen. Also, just a PSA, if any of you are following along with half of these recipes, no idea half the time if they're gonna like fully work, because a lot of the time we're just throwing stuff out here, so maybe watch it through to the end once. Most of the time I have a vague idea and an understanding of what I'm about to do, but sometimes shit goes sideways pretty substantially.
Do you want to talk about the ribs?
I don't want to talk about the ribs.
How many subscribers do we need to show the ribs video?
Oh, probably 100K. I said I don't want to talk about the ribs.
Hear that, folks? 100K, and Chef Joel's biggest failure shall surface.
You got me all flustered now. This onion got me with the vapors. For those of you who really hate cutting onions, yeah, me too. Really sharp knife apparently helps. To make cutting an onion easier, like one thing that I found is leave the little nubby thing on here, take off the dried skin on the outside, and then you can kind of do however you want, but...
Can you do that again to the nubby?
Like what? Little nubby? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did. I never know what I do with a nubby.
No man ever does.
Anyway, onions. So yeah, I'm just gonna slice into the center here. So again, I leave the nubby alone this time because now the whole thing holds itself together, and that's what I want. Because now when I come back here and I do my slicey slice, worry about making it all stand up by itself. It'll do that on its own. Giggity. Nice chopped up onions. We don't really need a mess in front of them, so. See, I'm already crying. See what bringing up the ribs did? Ah! I hate it. I hate it. Alright. Let's get that pepper. Fair schwack of olive oil. I'm not fucking done but a bit. Thank you. We're going to be cooking off some of the garlic and onions into the oil. That's going to help like bring out the flavors of the garlic and onions, but also flavor that oil. Don't want to go too high because we're actually using olive oil here. We don't want it to start getting too hot. Worried about burning your garlic, you can always add the onions a little bit beforehand and then add the garlic. Onions seem to be able to take a little bit more punishment. Salt. is like a white Wonder Bread family heirloom. It's been in my family for a long time.
Camera was like, I have grown bored and shall difficult technically. Thank you and goodbye.
That's okay, I was just busy making racial slurs toward myself, so I guess that's fair. Camera was like, nope. Rant incoming. Oh, Jesus, you know what they did? Apparently. Do you remember those, like, stone ground, like crackers that they had? They were like, what were they called? Man, I'm gonna have to look that up. They were like the
wheat crackers?
Yeah, the stone ground wheat crackers. Apparently they discontinued them. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up because I saw it online, so I have no way of corroborating this at all, or like whether this is true. But
the ones you would put butter on and eat when you were sick.
Just like the straight up. Okay, wait, what? Okay, that was a silly thing to say. I never did that, but I definitely ate those things by the sleeve because they were always in the house. I mean, cheese, some salami, maybe even if you're getting like cheese whiz, even if you're really being, trailer parkish. But yeah, Anyway, we know what we're talking about. If it's true, yeah, apparently they're no longer a thing. We're probably getting close. Getting a little sweaty in a lot of ways. For sure. So, we have about a cup of our arborio rice here. And we actually do, apparently, want to add it right into the oil here. We want to kind of give it a bit of a fry with that oil. Do here is that we cooked a little bit of the bacon before. I'm going to add that bacon oil right into that broth just to have a little more bacon flavor. Alright, so you could do this with wine or you could just not do it at all, but I'm going to add some burr. Yep, smells like beer. You know what's awesome about that little move? It makes it look like fancy, like I'm doing some sort of cool cooking technique. I don't know what it actually does. There's not a lot of liquid in there, so we're going to take a nice ladle, pour that in, and I go kind of two here because keeping the heat fairly high, and we're just stirring to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. You really got to watch it because like the starches will thicken this up really fast, and oh boy, she's thick. You want to time it so that the rice is just about kind of cooked, and then we'll start adding everything else. Tonight's theme of date night is being thick with 3 C's.
I am not thick.
I got nothing to say to that. This risotto will be thick enough for the both of us. Take a grain or two of rice out. Try it. So they're still really crunchy, so it's not obviously nowhere near done. But you can taste the flavor, and if it starts to get really salty, then like try and find some hot water, really hot water instead of the broth, and start adding that instead, and then you're not going to run the risk of getting way too salty with it.
You say try and find some really hot water.
Well, I mean the problem is if you're in the middle of doing this, you're probably not going to like run and get another pot and put another pot on and get it boiling and the whole 9 yards. Yeah, or dirty ass gross kettle for sure, that works if you've got time. But ain't nobody got time for that when they're making risotto. Now my brain is literally just over and over again going, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So every time we get to about here, that's where I start to think about adding a little more. So we'll cook it down pretty heavily. It starts sticking to the bottom. I know I've definitely left it too long. Yeah, this is about the hardest part. It's just waiting and stirring and waiting and stirring and waiting and stirring. Hopefully all this foreplay will pay off.
No comment.
Good foreplay needs no comment. Take your silence as amazement. Let that one get a little too slurpy. I just meant that it definitely got a little bit, not dry, but yeah. I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to explain right now, other than the word slorky. We are getting slorky. And it's getting soft. Alright, you can tell from how silent I've gotten that I'm getting close. I'm really concentrating. It's getting so slorky so quickly. And I want to say, for all those people who are literally screaming at the screens right now because I keep using a metal utensil inside the nonstick pan, we have already thoroughly that pan. So, thoroughly fucked. Date night. Your mom's never gonna be able to watch this. I'm just a wellspring of knowledge. A wellspring? Wellspring. See? I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I keep talking. Just keep. One day I'll say something right. It's fine. If I just fuck enough times, eventually I'll say that one thing that just isn't complete nonsense. We're going to add in our chickpeas because I want them to get heated through. Bacon that we cooked earlier, already cooked, obviously, because we cooked it earlier. Beautiful sentence, Joel. Good job. Pat on the back, my friend.
Can you pat yourself on the back?
I mean, kind of. The shirt's a little tight, that's all I'm saying. I'm sure there's some people also screaming, how dare you put chickpeas in a risotto? But, yeah, we're just playing. Ooh, yeah. Oh, now we're cooking. This whole time we weren't cooking, but now we're cooking. Our mushrooms. A little more liquid because we're getting too schlocky here.
Thought it was schlorky.
I don't know what it is. I'm panicking now because it's near the end. If it stands up completely on its own, then it's probably too slurky. Gonna add our bacon. This is real bacon that we cooked. It's not imitation. Don't use imitation. Just buy bacon. Not that hard. I need to get right behind you. Hey, a little bit of Parmesan. A little bit of butter. Not too much butter. Nice and creamy. Again. Make all the jokes you want. Fucking Italians, man. I tell you. They are a bunch. Parmesan. Maybe a little chonky-chonk here with everything on it. Whew, that's got all kinds of jam.
10 out of 10.
Not a simple bite. I don't know if I would give it a 10, just because it's maybe not my own personal flavor profile jam, but I'm having a hard time explaining why I wouldn't. It's a tentative 10, sure. I suppose, as we always say, once it gets schlorky, pull it out. If it's schlorky, it's a 10 out of 10. Like, comment, and subscribe, all those good things. We'll hopefully talk to you guys. See you the next time, and we'll hopefully have another slurky 10 out of 10. But until then, if you're not doing date night, what are you even doing?